Hi guys and welcome. On this video, we're going to review the best ways to spot a student loan scam. And how can you deal with scammers? When it comes to getting debt relief, you've probably heard of a number of different student loan debt relief options. These are private companies that tell you they will help you manage your debt, for a fee of course. What they don't tell you is that you could be doing those things entirely on your own, without them. What they're telling you is that they'll reduce your payments or remove your debt, but it might not be what you think. In fact, you might end up with changes you didn't actually authorize to your loan, or you may not get that money back. Even more, if you stopped payments for a period of time, you could be in even more trouble than ever. Now, what can really turn into a problem for you is that these debt relief companies like to claim that they're from the ED, even when they're not. They might say that they work directly with the U.S. Department of Education, or they might say they're a consumer advocacy group. The best thing for you to keep in mind is that the official organizations don't charge you fees before they do anything. Any organization that asks you to pay a fee up front is definitely not working with the U.S. Department of Education. That's not to say there aren't legitimate companies that can help with your student loan payments. There definitely are. But if you're doing your own research, there's a good chance that you're actually finding some scams. When it comes down to it, you're going to be at risk for a number of different problems if you do fall for a scam, like losing personal information and paying big bucks for nothing. So, what should you do to protect yourself? First, watch for upfront costs. The biggest problem that you're going to find is companies that charge upfront fees. This is one of the biggest scams you're going to find. In fact, in most of these situations when you pay money for these services, you're going to find that you could have done it all on your own. Make sure you're not paying for anything before it's done for you. Now, if you're looking for help, you want to find resources that aren't going to charge, and they're out there. Some states even require that debt settlement services be provided free of charge. Just make sure you're paying close attention to those that say they need an upfront fee in order to settle your debt or consolidate your loans. Whether you call them or they call you, if someone tells you that you'll need to pay in order to get anything done, you should say, "No, thank you." You can go to studentloans.gov and submit an application to consolidate your loan. They're even completely free, so you want to make sure you're looking at the legitimate sites that are run by the government. Another way to spot a scam is when they promise an instant relief in your debt. If someone is offering to fix the problem for you immediately, you're probably looking at a scam. Anyone who promises that thing will get better fast is preying on your desire to get over with it. In actuality, it takes a lot of time to go through the process of loan forgiveness. In fact, it has a lot of requirements, and it takes at least 10 years of payments. For those who are in default on their loan, it takes time and effort as well. You're going to have long processes for this as well. Sure, there are ways that you can take care of it, but it's not going to happen fast. People that are involved in scams want to scare you into doing what they want you to do. They're also going to try and pressure you because they're working on commission. The more people they get to sign up, the more money they're going to get. And since they can scare you with the lack of information, you're going to be tempted. The best thing you can do, however, is make sure that you take your time to know what you're doing. Don't jump in, and don't let them pressure you into anything. Make sure you watch for different scare tactics that can get more and more intense the longer you say no. Scare tactics are definitely not the way of a legitimate company. Asking for personal information is also a red alert. If you're asked for your federal student aid ID or your social security number, you should turn and run in the opposite direction. These are signs that the company is trying to gain access to your account and change the settings and choices you may have. If you're working with a legitimate organization, they're not going to ask for any of these things. FSA ID password. No legitimate source is going to ask you for your password. When you sign into your account, you're able to sign legal documents. You do not want to give access to this account to anyone you don't know, and you don't want anyone to have any ability to create a new account. If you do share this information, then anyone you give it to will be able to make decisions for you. They're going to have the ability to make changes to your accounts and do anything at all without you having to approve it. Keep in mind also that if you're paying a debt relief company, but not your loan, you're setting yourself up for late fees and an even bigger debt later on. Scammers are often offering total forgiveness, something that is not possible at all. Legitimate forgiveness programs take years to apply for, and you need to fit some specific criteria. Anyone else who promises they'll get your loans completely wiped out is definitely trying to scam you. No one can negotiate special deals or forgive your loans if you don't fit any of those specific criteria. Just make sure you're aware of what can and can't be done, especially without dealing directly with the government. If you're seeing paid ads for the services, then chances are you're not getting the right deal. After all, if you're doing anything free, you're probably not going to pay a lot of money to get people to go for it, right? That's a good sign something is going wrong with the program you're choosing. If you're looking at for-profit relief services, you're likely going to find them at the top of your search results page as well, because they get their ranking organically. You don't want to fall for any of these types of advertisements, and you definitely want to keep your personal information private. Scammers are trying to get control on your loan. You do not need to give control of your loan to anyone else. In fact, you shouldn't. If they're asking for personal information, that will let them take control of your loan. You most definitely don't want to give them this kind of access. You don't really know what you're doing when it comes to paying your debts, and since you don't know that they actually are making payments, you don't want to give them full control. After all, you don't know what they're going to do with that access or your money. Errors in the content is another way to spot fraud. Chances are the government is not going to give you content and documents that have spelling errors or grammatical errors. On the other hand, these scam companies are definitely likely to have errors. They may look very professional and formal on the surface, but there can definitely be problems hidden underneath. In addition, pay attention to fake endorsements. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has been looking into a lot of different organizations that claim to be student loan debt relief companies, and many of the ones that they're finding claim to be related in some way to the Department of Education. What you should always pay attention to are companies that say they are associated with the federal government in any way. The federal government is not associated with private companies trying to help you with your loans. They have their own companies to do it. Make sure you look out for any company that says they are national or federal within their names. If they end with .us on their website, that's also going to be a warning. You're getting something that looks official, but it's definitely not the .gov that you should be looking for. Anything that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you're getting offers that say you're qualified for something that they've never asked you questions about, the answer is probably that it's a scam. They can't possibly know whether you qualify or not unless they've done some screening. If there's a guarantee made with no information given, that's definitely going to be a problem. In order to be sure you qualify for anything, the company will need to talk to you and find out more about your specific situation. You need to be wary of anyone that says they can get you forgiveness, lowered payments, or anything else as a guarantee. What if you fell for the scam already? If that's the case, then you want to take a few important steps and look at all of these things. Change your FSA ID and password immediately. Contact the loan servicer and revoke any authorizations you gave. Also double-check any actions that have been done. Contact your financial institution and stop all payments to the company. File an FTC complaint. File a complaint through the Federal Student Aid feedback system. That's it for now. On our website, you can find more posts, as well as calculators and other financial tools. Do you know more ways to spot scammers? We'd love to know your thoughts, so feel free to share them with us in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get the best financial videos for free.